Hello, everybody. Let me know if you can hear me pretty well. I have on this microphone, so y'all gonna have to let me know if you can hear me. So let me go ahead and send out an email to everybody. I want to make sure can y'all hear me? How does the audio sound, babe? Calvin Richmond is my husband. Do it sound like I got on this microphone? You said it sound great, but I'm trying to see, does it? Okay. All right, y'all. Let's see. I know what I'm gonna do. Because that I sound great doesn't answer my question. Hold on, y'all. Let me see something. Let's see how I sound. Hello, hello. You sound great, but I'm trying to see, does it? Okay, I think my microphone might be hooked up then. All right, let me hit send on this. It sounds good. Okay, cool. So I'm about to show you all how to use the UnCloned marketing systems. So if you're new to me, hey, I am going to take a moment to introduce myself. So I'm going to be going through all of my UnCloned marketing systems with each person. With each, I'm going to be going through each system with each person here. So I can hear you clearly. Okay, perfect. So I just sent out an email so everybody on my email list can come and join us, whoever is available. And then I'll be putting this replay on I'm gonna be putting this replay on YouTube. Okay, that's the goal. Is for me to go through this process and allow this video to also be used. I believe Lashana is doing an accountability meetup group here in Atlanta. So I also want to kind of have a video for her too. So as she's working with everyone in the system, I want to make sure everybody understands how to use the system and that we're not not using the system. So I'm going to tell you what it is, what it's about, how it works, the whole nine. So let me take a moment to introduce myself. So my name is Audria Richmond. I'm a marketing and launch strategist. I work directly with my clients to teach them how to build an uncloned brand so they can become the obvious choice in their industry. Okay. That is what I do. That's how I work with clients. Now, we created a product line in 2021 called the UnCloned Marketing Systems. Okay. And it came with 4 planners and 4 courses. Okay. So we launched this in December of 2021. And the reason we created these systems is 4. It's a total of 4. So it's the offer system. Then we have the launch system. Then we have the content system. And then we have the opportunity hour system. Okay. So those are all of the systems that we created for each person. All right. Now I'm going to go over each system and like a little story, if you will, behind each one. Right. Congratulations to everyone who got additional systems. I do want to mention that these systems are going away pretty soon. So if you didn't get an opportunity to get a planner, like if you didn't get a chance to come to UnCloned Marketing Systems Weekend, or if you haven't had a chance to purchase them at all, they are available on the site marked at 75% off. So they're currently 75% off. So you're pretty much good to go. Okay. So I'm going to take a moment to, okay. I needed to make sure that my phone was on silent so people don't try to call while I'm trying to teach, if you know what I mean. All right. So if you already own one of these, tell me which one in the comments you have. Okay. If you already own one of these UnCloned marketing systems, let me know in the comments which one you have. Do you have the offer system? Do you have the launch system? Do you have the content system? Or do you have the opportunity hour system? Let me know which one you have. All right, so let me get into it. Now, why did I create these systems? I created these systems because after coaching so many small business owners, a lot of people struggle in these 4 key areas. Okay. And so let me tell you where I see the most struggle. Okay. people be like, well, I don't really need the offer system because I have something to sell. And let me explain why that may not be true. Because sometimes I'll meet someone and I'll ask them like, hey, tell me about yourself. Tell me about what it is that you do, or tell me what you sell or what you offer. And people use blanket, vague statements like, well, I sell socks, or, I'm a life coach, or they use very vague language, but it doesn't like entice me to want to learn more. It doesn't entice me to want to, research you more. And the way you're positioning yourself and your offer is not going to attract people who will be willing to spend money with you. Okay. And so when we talk about your offer, there's a few things that you need to have when it comes to your offer. We call it the 5 must-haves. Every offer should have a name, like a product description, like a very brief summary of what it is. You should be able to list what's included, meaning if I buy this product, service, event, or experience from you, what are all those things I'm going to get from you? Then you need to tell me what the investment is and how to sign up. Typically, when I'm asking people, tell me about your product or tell me about your service, it's missing a lot of those key components. So for an example, if you say that I'm a business coach, that's not a product, that's not an offer, that's not a service, that is a title. Is everybody getting that? If you're getting that, just put yes in the chat. I want to make sure everybody is following along, okay? If you tell me that you are a business coach, that is not a service, that is not a product, that is not an offer, that is a title, okay? You being a business coach is not a service, it's not an offer, okay? So if I say, hey, how do I work with you, right? And you say, well, I do coaching. That's not a product. That's not a service. That's not an offer. That is just you telling me what it is that you do. Okay. If you were going to sell me on your product or service, or if you were going to sell me on what it is that you have, and I say, hey, you be like, hey, I offer business coaching. Then let me give you an example. I'll use myself as an example. If someone come to me and say, hey, tell me about yourself. Tell me what it is that you do. I'll briefly say something like, hello, my name is Audria Richmond. I'm a brand and marketing strategist. I work directly with my clients to teach them how to build an uncloned brand so they can become the obvious choice in their industry. All you know up until this point is my name is Audria Richmond. I've told you that I'm a brand and marketing strategist. I also told you that I work with small business owners and brand owners to do what? To build an uncloned brand. Well, why would someone want to build an uncloned brand? So they can become the obvious choice in their industry. So you found yourself, as I was talking, you were probably thinking, oh, I want to build a brand. Oh, I need to work with a brand and marketing strategist. Oh, I want to become the obvious choice in my industry. Something along those strings of words that I just said, where you started to resonate and say, okay, I really like vibe with this or vibe with that. Is that making sense, everybody? If so, just put a 1 in the chat. Okay. All right. So when I ask you what it is that you do and like what it is that you offer, you should be able to clearly, 1, introduce yourself, 2, clearly articulate what it is that you offer, right? So if somebody say, hey, Audria, how do I work with you? Well, we have a flagship 12-month program, group coaching program called the UnCloned Brand Vault, where we take our clients on a 12-month journey to install 24 systems into their business. It's like, oh, okay, well, what are those 24 systems? And tell me more about the process. So as you can tell, like if somebody say, what is the whole point of your 12-month program? The whole point of our 12-month program is to help you build an uncloned brand. That's it. So if you want to build an uncloned brand, if you want to join our 12-month program, that is essentially what we're going to help you do. But then you might say, well, you said you was going to help me build an uncloned brand in 12 months. Well, what does that look like? Well, we have a framework called the UnCloned Brand Framework. And we have a 7-phase process where we help you install 24 systems into your business. If you cannot articulate your offer down to the penny like that, you do not have an offer. Okay. The other part of this, let's say when people get interested, where are you sending people? If somebody say, hey, I'm interested in joining the UnCloned Brand Vault, we would tell them, hey, go to unclonedbrandvault.com, put in your information and watch the tour video. Right? That's a process. That's a sales process. oftentimes you don't want to be hood. Okay. You don't want to be hood. You don't want to be ghetto. You don't want to be pulling up on somebody talking about cash out me, $500 to join my coaching program. Ghetto. Okay. Ghetto, all caps. You want to be able to send somebody to a website that is professional, that lists out all of those 5 must-haves. Let me say it again for those who didn't catch it. What are the 5 must-haves? Everything that you sell should have a name. It should have a summary, like a quick little summary. What's included, meaning if I buy it, what are all the things that I'm going to get? In addition to that, you should have an investment. You should be able to tell me what it cost. And you should also be able to tell me how to sign up, right? So if somebody say, okay, what is the UnCloned brand what are the UnCloned brand 5 must-haves? One, the name of the program is called UnCloned Brand Vault. What is the summary? It's a 12-month group coaching program where we help you implement 24 systems into your business to help you build an uncloned brand. That's a description. What do I get? Well, you get inside the program, you get one monthly Q&A call. You get access to a community. You get access to all of my flagship programs, as well as the courses and planners shipped to you in the mail. You get to come to a virtual conference in July called UnCloned Brand Live. Those are all the what's included parts, right? Then when people say, well, how much it costs? Well, at the time of this recording, to join the UnCloned Brand Vault is $5,000 pay in full, or 4 installments of $1,500. Well, how do I pay? You're going to go to unclonedbrandvault.com. You're going to enter your information. You're going to watch that tour video to make sure that you understand what you're signing up for. After you watch 30 minutes of that video, the pricing part is going to appear. You're going to put in your credit card information. After you put your information in and you pay, you're going to put your payment in. You're going to go to a page to say thank you for signing up. Then you're going to get an email from us to sign your contract, your program contract. After your program contract is signed, you're going to get your username and password, and we're going to begin to ship you your products in the mail. Once you get enrolled into the program, you're going to click on the Start Here section inside of the portal. And then once you get started inside the portal, you're going to follow the onboarding process. Do you see how clear that is? Do you see how clear that is? If you cannot do that with your offer, you do not have an offer. So when people tell me, well, I already got an offer, I don't really need your little offer system. Okay, cool. Do you pass my 5 must-haves test? And it's not just about having the 5 must-haves. The other process is about your sales process. So inside of the planner, so let's go ahead and dive into. So before I go into the planner, is that clear, everybody? Do everybody now understand what an offer is? An offer is what you sell. It is what's going to be your competitive advantage. It's the one thing that stands out about you and your business. Is that clear? Do everybody now understand what an offer is, what to sell, what to put yourself out there for? Okay? Those are the 5 must-haves. So once you have that, that's essentially what the offer system is. So if you don't have that, you're like, hey, I don't have the 5 must-haves. I don't really even know how the hell to put my stuff together. You need the offer system then. Okay? You can have multiple offers. Okay? If you have multiple offers, that is considered a product suite. Okay? If you have multiple offers, that is considered a product suite. Okay? So inside of your offer system, if you've never developed an offer at all for your business, that's what the offer system is for. But it's also not just for it's not just for brand new offers. It's also for new offers that you want to be able to make, right? So for an example, I'm in the process of creating a brand new offer. I think what people have to understand is that you have to know how to develop offers, period, right? It's not just about you having one offer. If you decide you want to have a conference, you want to offer speaking, you want to write a book, you want to create a course, you want to create an affiliate program, all of those are offers. Okay. And there's an operational system required for each one. And those 5 must-haves is required for each one. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. All right. So inside of your planner, it looks like this on the front. It's hardcover. And then you're going to open up your planner and you're going to put your information in here. Okay. You're going to put your information in the front part of the planner. And then you're going to make sure I got that going. Then you're going to put the information about your business. Okay. You're going to put the information about your business. Okay. So you're going to put your company name, industry, whether you work B2B, B2C, annual revenue goal, in any of your major projects that you're working on for the year. Okay. All right. The next thing, you need to know what you're doing for the whole year. A lot of people they plan for the day, they don't plan for the year. And most importantly, they don't plan for the decade. Most people are kind of reactive and responsive on a daily. Oh, I'll make a reel today. I'll make a video today. And there's no structure to having what it is that you're going to do for the year. I know next month we're doing a Women's History Month collab with my client, Lauren Lane. She's creating an art piece for Women's History Month. I also know in July, I'm hosting a virtual conference. We just finished hosting UnCloned Marketing Systems Weekend. As a business owner, you should be knowing what it is that you're going to be doing on a daily basis. Okay? Cool. Now, the next part is about your vision planning. And this is more so about really thinking about your offer. So in my book, UnCloned Marketing, I talk a lot about, do you have an uncloned offer? It's one thing to say you sell something, but is it different? Right? So in some cases, some people don't even have anything to sell. Then on top of not having something to sell, it's still not uncloned. So let me give you an example. If you say you're a hairstylist and you do hair, okay, welcome to the other millions of women who are hairstylists who say they do hair. What is it about your hairstyle or the way you approach hair that's different, right? So let me give you an example. There's a young lady here, I can't think of her name, that lives in Georgia, but she has created a system, like a proprietary process for how she helped women with hair loss, these women come to her and she helped them with their hair loss, and she helps them create unique styles to help cover up the spots where they're missing hair, right? But she has formulated that into a process. And that's her proprietary way of working with clients who lose hair, who's losing hair. So as you can see, if I want to get my hair done like that, I can only go to her. Another example of this would be like, you can get a burger from anywhere, but if you want to get a Big Mac, you got to get it from McDonald's. Does this make sense, everybody? So I think a lot of the times you can have an offer, but you could be in such a saturated market where you're being overlooked because people cannot find out like what makes you different or what's your competitive advantage, right? So one of the things that we like to work with our clients on is really helping them find their uncloned advantage. It's one thing to say you do what everybody else is doing, but what is something that you're doing that's different, that's unique, that I can't get nowhere else. If I can get what you do anywhere else, and all I'm doing is price shopping, you have not found your uncloned advantage. Okay? I'm probably going to do a whole class on finding your uncloned advantage. It's not as easy to teach. That's why it's not a course. It more so works when I'm consulting and advising a client, because we have to do deep research. And if you have the planner, I actually walk you through how to research your industry, how to find, like, matter of fact, if you have the offers planner, it's this section in your planner. Okay? It's called UnCloned Offer Research. Okay? This is what the page looks like inside your planner. So we walk you through the process on like, okay, what's the idea that you have that you want to sell? Then we talk about go research the industry you're in, and you're looking for what everybody else is doing. Okay. You're going to go look for what everybody else is doing. And then we actually give you 10 questions. I think it's 10 questions. No, it's 11 questions. We give you 11 questions to ask yourself to really start to get your brain going on what it is that you can do that's different, right? Let me just say this. Starting a business is easy. Standing out is hard. Starting a business is easy. Standing out is hard. Starting a business is easy. Standing out is hard. Why? Because when you're putting yourself out there, and let me also say this, whenever somebody is going into an industry that's easy to get in, it's even going to be even harder for you. And whoever got the most money to market, whoever got the best looking brand, whoever is making the most traction and marketing the hardest, that's who's going to get the business. Not the lazy person who don't want to run ads, who don't want to put themselves out there, who don't want to talk to people, who's introverted, who's scared of the camera. Like, if that is your MO, like, you're not going to get clients. You're not going to get customers, especially if you're in a saturated market. The more saturated the market, the more creative and innovative and uncloned you need to be. If you're in the end, like for instance, we met a young lady at the event that sells charcoal. I've never met a person who sells charcoal. That is not something that an industry that everybody goes into. However, I met some people who said, well, I'm in the travel business. You know how many people in the travel business? I'm in the beauty business. You know how many people in the beauty business? I'm in the coaching business. You know how many people in the coaching business? And so the more saturated your market, the more dialed in you need to be about what is the thing that I offer that nobody else offers, right? That's why we have to spend so much time making sure that our offer is solid. Okay, so that's the first part of this planner. Then once you do your research and you start to find out like what makes your offer uncloned, the next thing you're going to do is design your offer. Okay, so inside the planner we have this thing called the offer designer. Can y'all see that? So we have this offer designer in here where we walk you through step by step on how to design your offer. So you like, okay, what style of offer? Is it done with you? Is it done for you? Is it a combination of that? Okay, cool. Is this a 1-day offer or a 2-day offer? Is it evergreen? Does it not apply? Okay, do you need support? Does it make sense? So it's kind of like build a bear before your offer. That's how that process works. And we even talk about like marketing budget and all of that. Okay. It's so detailed. It's kind of like having baby Audria on your shoulder, walking you through the process. Okay. So there's that. Thank you all so much for getting your systems. Shout out to everybody who came to UnCloned Marketing Systems Weekend. I'm just explaining each one of the systems because even if you didn't get the one you wanted this weekend, they're now on the shop and they're marked to the same price they were in person. You just got to pay for shipping now, obviously because the event is over. But if you're interested in buying additional systems, they're marked down to 75% off, which is the cheapest they've ever been. Like I'm not going no cheaper than this. Like this is the cheapest I can go for the people. So if you know you want additional systems, you can head over to audriarichmond.shop and see all of the different systems that are available. We do have less than 500 planners, and I am running ads because I really want to be done with all of this inventory in the next 2 weeks. So if you know you want one, now's the time to get in, okay? So then you have your offer designer. Now let's talk about money map, okay? Inside your offers planner, there's a section called money map. And somebody throw in the chat real quick, how much money would you like to make in a month? Let me know. Tell me how much money would you like to make in a month? Let me know. Do you want to make $25,000 in a month? Do you want to make $50,000 in a month? Do you want to make $100,000 in a month? Do you want to make $1 million in a month? How much money do you want to make in a month from the offer that you sell? Okay, 80,000. What is the price of your product? And how many units would you need to sell to hit that goal? For my $10,000 person, how many clients do you need in order to hit that? And when I say clients, I'm talking about your offer. Now, the money map applies to the offer. So for an example, I sell a program that's $5,000 pay in full. If I get 40 clients a month, that's my goal, 40 clients a month. That is essentially $200,000 in a month. If I can get 40 people to pay in full for my program, I can make $200,000 in a month. The lower the price of your offer, the more volume is required. And let me say this for the people in the back, especially for those who sell very low ticket items. You are not going to blow up your business without running ads if your product is too cheap. Let me say that again. And I need y'all to hear me with my whole chest. It is going to be extremely difficult to scale up your business with a low ticket offer if you're not willing to run ads. Did everybody get that? So if you sell a little $100 product or a $200 product and you want to make $100,000 a month or whatever the case may be, it ain't even about content no more. You can't content your way to $100,000 selling $20 products with 200 followers on Instagram. I'm just being brutally honest. And I'm telling you this because a lot of people are not going to tell you that. They're going to keep on tricking you out to believe that, oh, all I got to do is create some content. That's it. I just got to create some content. And one day I'm going to go viral and blow up. Good luck, buddy. Good freaking luck. Good luck, buddy. Good luck. Okay. As somebody with almost 80,000 followers on Instagram, Okay? With an email list of 15,000 people, with with almost 20 some thousand people that follow me on Facebook, with over 10,000 people who follow my personal profile on Facebook. Then with over almost 4,000 people subscribe to me on YouTube. Let me just be brutally honest with you. I still had to run ads. Every single person who came to the event came as a result of an ad. Every single person. When I asked every single person that came to the event, how did you hear about the event? I saw an ad. I saw a video. I saw an ad. Some people thought it was God. It wasn't. It was an ad. Somebody was like, oh, God was listening to my phone because all I saw was this video about coming to get a free plan. And I said, I'm going to come. And I'm like, yeah, that wasn't God, baby. That was an ad. But okay. I'm just telling y'all, because a lot of people aren't telling the truth about what it takes to get in front of new people and how to market yourself. Could you possibly go viral from creating content? But who got time to be churning out 10, 15 videos a day? Especially if you're running your business, especially if you're a parent, especially if you have a freaking life. You do not want to be on the internet all day, every day, just creating content just because. And I'm telling you, it's the slowest road. So if you want to go down that road, do you. But if you want to accelerate your growth, you're going to have to put some money where your mouth is, right? So if you say you want to make $100,000, $200,000, $1 million, or whatever the case may be, you have to understand that you're going to have to be willing to put some money up. Okay. How many of y'all want to know how much I spent on my ad campaign? Let me tell you real quick. Get my little keyboard out. Who want to know? Let's do a mindset check real quick. I'm gonna tell you how much I spent on ads. Give me 1 second. Let's see. I'm about to tell you. For this campaign that I just did for UnCloned Marketing Systems Weekend in Atlanta, I'm about to tell you exactly what I spent on ads and how much we made. Okay. We spent a total of, hold on, let me find my little thing. Here it is. We spent $1,092.13. Okay. I spent $1,092.13. We had 1,294 people opt in. My cost per conversion was 84 cents per purchase, meaning for every person who opted in, it cost me 84 cents. Now, that cost per lead is extremely cheap, by the way. Okay. That cost per lead is extremely, extremely cheap. So I got 1,294 people to opt in for this event. It cost me 84 cents per person, which ended up being $1,092.13. Okay. Can somebody throw that number in the chat for some people who may need to do a quick screenshot? So put in the chat for me. I spent $1,092.13. Alrighty. So how many of y'all are like, okay, well, what did it turn into? What did it turn into? Okay. I ran these ads for about 2 weeks. So about 11 days. So about 11 days we ran these ads. Okay. So let me tell you what we made. Who want to know how much money we made at the event from all of that? Okay. So let me tell you. Thank you for putting that number in the chat for me. So from January the 29th, that's when I started this campaign, to now, we have made $13,793.63. Okay, somebody put that in the chat for me. We made $13,793.63. Okay, I'm gonna say it one more time for the people in the back. We made $13,793.63. $793.63 from the time I started that ad to now. So let me ask you a question. Okay? Let me ask you a question. Are you willing to run ads? Because let me tell you, can I give y'all a raw story? I'm going to give you a raw story. I think it'll be useful. Let me give you a raw story. When I first started promoting this, I was like, man, I really need to get this out to as many people as possible, because we were giving away 1,500 planners. That was the goal, to get rid of 1,500 planners. Okay. That was the goal, to give away 1,500 planners at this event. And so when we put the event out, I was started promoting it and telling people about it, and practically, honestly, begging people, hey, can you please share my post, y'all? Please, please, please. And you know how people have selective vision? You know what I mean? You know how it is on the internet. When people act like they don't see your shit, but they can tell you about it on the phone call, 2 weeks from now. Oh, I saw your post. And then you go back and look at that post and be like, I didn't see a like or a comment or a share or anything. You saw this post? You mean the one you didn't engage in? Oh, okay. So people be having selective vision. Okay. They remember everything you do when it's convenient for them. And then when you need them to help you, it's like they act like they blind, like they don't see nothing. Okay. When I was promoting it organically with content, hear me out. When I was promoting it organically with content, we only had 67 people to sign up. Okay. When we were promoting it with content the slow way, we had 67 people to sign up for this event. Okay. It took me to run ads to get all of those people to come to this event. It was not because of my network. Okay. I had a handful of people that I can count on one hand who actually shared and told people about this event. Okay. And it proved to me that you can know some people, be connected to some people, and they could be slick, dry hating, right? Right? Because it's not like I told people to buy it in bulk or anything. Okay? It's people who live right in the state of Georgia who could have easily shared my event, has a way bigger network than me here in Georgia, but didn't feel called to, that they called me their friend. Okay? So let's just know this. I ain't salty, because guess what? I know how to market. Okay? And that's what I really encourage for everybody here. This is why I'm so passionate about marketing. So you don't have to be so codependent on friends, family, people, network, people that you know. If I want to sell some shit, I'm going to run some ads. That's just that on that. I ain't got time to be begging and pleading and, hey, y'all, can you please share? Can you please share? I said, man, these folks must forgot who I was. I said, these folks must forgot who I was. And I pulled out my computer. I got them ads going, created my video. Hello, guys. Attention, Atlanta entrepreneurs. This is Audria Richmond, and I'm ending our product line at UnCloned Marketing Systems. If you live in blah, blah, you get what I'm saying? So, like, I don't really have time to beg and plead people. And I really want you all to understand that if you have this feeling or this entitlement or this expectation that, like, oh, people should help me and people should promote me and people should do this and people should do that, I'm just going to tell you straight up. Okay? I'm just going to tell you straight up. You're going to have to learn how to market. Period. You're going to have to learn how to market your business. You're going to have to learn how to run ads. You're going to have to learn how to articulate what it is that you do. You're going to have to learn positioning so people can take you seriously and pay you top dollar for what it is that you sell. So for everybody who said they want to make $10,000 in a month, $100,000 in a month, $200,000 in a month, $1 million in a month, are you ready to run ads? Are you willing to spend some money on sponsorships or partnerships to get in the room? You can content yourself to death all you want, but it's only going to take you so far. I can honestly sit here and say that 80% of my entire audience have found out about me through ads, not because people felt compelled to share. Okay. So I just wanted to share that with you, because if that's something that you're really working on and you want to grow your business, this is something that you really need to be thinking about. Okay. All right. We do have a coaching program. I may do a training for my clients. They have been begging me for ads. I don't like teaching ads because it changes too much. But I may do a class for my coaching clients. And if you all are interested in becoming a coaching client, you can head over to the unclonedbrandvault.com. So can somebody inside the Uncloned Brand Vault type in www.unclonedbrandvault.com for those who are interested? If you're interested in becoming a coaching client, you can head over to unclonedbrandvault.com. Let me tell you what it costs before you go opt in. It's $5,000 paying full or 4 payments of $1,500. If that is too much for you, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, I may not be your person. So with that being said, let's keep it moving. So once you decide on what you're going to be charging per month, right? Like how many units you need, like whatever your revenue goal is, you need to make sure that your offer is in alignment with that goal, right? So if you say you want to make $100,000 a month, how many units do you need to sell, or how many things do you need to sell in order to do that? Okay. Thank you, Tangeray, for posting that. Okay. So hopefully that gives you context. All right, cool. So, let me also say this. Inside your planner, you're going to see a thing that say number of people, investment, and offer. Okay. So you write down your money math and you put the numbers in there inside the planner. So this is the offers planner. Okay. Next section. Let's keep it moving. Product suite. Somebody said earlier, what do you do if you want to sell multiple products, right? If you want to sell multiple products, then you will essentially be creating a product suite. Okay. Like what's the first product? And then after they go to that product, what's the next product? Then after and let me also say this. When you're creating a product suite, it should feel cohesive, right? Like if you've ever bought an Apple product, you got the Apple Watch and the Apple phone and the iPad and the Apple TV. It's an ecosystem. You do not want to create a bunch of products that compete with each other. When I say compete with each other, there's no reason for me to ascend from one product to the next, right? So you want to make sure you have an ecosystem. All right. Then for those who sell e-commerce, who sell physical products, we have e-commerce planning section in here for those individuals. And then you have your finalizing your offer. So remember those 5 must-haves that we talked about? That's going to be on this page where it says finalizing your offer for sale. What did I say your 5 must-haves are? 1, your name. What's the name of the product? What is the summary and the description for the product? What's included? What's the investment? And how do people sign up? If you cannot answer those questions, your offer is not complete. Okay. All right. We got that. Then we get into producing your offer, which is how to create your offer. Then we get into selling your offer. How do you sell your offer? We talk a lot about what is the sales process for your offer. And then a bonus section. If you like, girl, I don't know what to sell. We have a section in the back of the planner called 70 ready-made offers. 70. So I already ideated 70 offers for you. All you got to do is pick an offer, name it, price it, and sell it. That's all you have to do. Okay. So that is the UnCloned offer system. And it's currently 75% off in the shop if you want to get it. You can head over to audriarichmond.shop. This particular system is $50. Okay. And it comes with the course. All right. Now, this one, I may not have all day to talk about this one. This one is the big daddy. Okay. Who got the launch system? Okay. Who got the launch system? This is the big daddy. It's over 400 pages. This is out of all the planners, this one is my favorite for obvious reasons. I love marketing. I love marketing. I love running ads. I love creating marketing campaigns. Like I just love marketing. Okay. Like hands down. So if you ever wanted to know, like, okay, how do I like do a marketing campaign? How do I create attention around my products? You got to launch. Okay. Somebody put that in the chat. Launch. You got to launch. Okay. So with the launch system, right, this is your granddaddy. It's so funny. Yeah, so like, yeah, it's like, did you think? Okay. So anyway, when you're working on your marketing campaign, let me also say this. This launch planner is for one launch. Yes. Okay. I'm not going to flip through everything because it'd be too much. It would have to be, this would have to be like a 10-hour live stream. Okay. If I sat here and went through every single thing, but I do want to tell you really quick, like how it works. Okay. So here you will notice that soon as you open, oh, this is my husband's one. Perfect. So my husband has a, I don't want to put his number in here though. Do you have some sticky notes, boo? I might have to just cover it up. So I had wrote a little love letter to my husband for the launch of his new product. Okay, I wrote him a little love note. You gonna make me cry. You gonna make me cry. So anyway, let me just cover it up. So here you would see I'm launching what on what day. Okay, I'm launching what on what day. So for him, because this is his planner, he's launching Muscle Cars Trivia on May 1st, 2024. Okay, that's what he wrote in this planner. And then if you notice, he did his vision board. We recommend you do a vision board for your launch. Look at what he did, y'all. Can y'all see it? His vision board for his launch. Okay. So he created his vision board for this launch. Guess what has happened? He now has 2 major TV excuse me, y'all. Baby, turn the air on. It's hot as hell in here. Okay. All right. So since he's launched this, he has 2 TV producers that's working with him on his game show. Okay. 2 TV producers that's working with him on his game show. Super duper dope. My husband is working on a TV game show, and he has 2 producers to help with that. He's also working on a in-home game. Y'all can see the mock-ups of that. So in-home game that he's working on. And then he had to break down his offer. Just because he's my husband doesn't mean he doesn't have to do the work. Okay? Thank you, Tangeray, for constantly posting that for me. Thank you. Just because he's my husband doesn't mean that he can't do the work. Does that make sense? So when he be like, babe, so I'm gonna be like, did you work in your planner? See, my clients think I'll just do that with them. Nope, I do that with my husband too. So when he be like, babe, I want to work, tell me did you work in the planner? Did you work in the planner? Everybody's work. Do y'all know how much work, time, and energy I put into this planner? If you don't take your butt over there and work through this planner, everything is there. Okay? So as you can see, he put all the details of the in-home game for his offer. Okay? Then he wrote down the features and the benefits about the offer. Then he had to write down his frequently asked questions. So every single thing about his product he had to put in there. Then he had to decide on what his launch style was going to be, the launch details. He had to make his content plan. Okay? He had to write out his content plan. So, look, nobody is exempt. He got the launch team. So all of the people that he need on his launch team. Okay? All the people he need on his launch team. Then we do our asset planning. This is where you work on your copy, your words, your social media copy, things like that. Then you have your graphics list, your photography list, your video list, your website pages, your automation, your tech and tools, your launch timeline, your pre-live launch, so all the stuff you need to do before your launch. Then you have press and media, your live launch details, opportunity hour, and post-launch. And then obviously you would do your launch debrief. But that's essentially the process. So if you said, hey girl, can you help me plan my launch? Go get this planner, y'all. I can't even believe that I'm selling it on my shop right now for $75. Like, it blows my mind that people be like, $75? I don't think people realize that people have paid hundreds of dollars for the same planner. The fact that you can get it for $75 is a steal. And I'm not going back and forth with nobody who's like, oh my God, it cost it. Girl, bye. boy, bye. Girl, bye. Boy, bye. Okay. We practically giving them away at this price. So if it's still like too much for you, then you probably don't need them. So anyway, moving on. So we have the content system. Okay. The UnCloned content system is different than how we teach it inside the launch planner. In the launch planner, we talk about creating content for your launch, right? So whenever you're doing a marketing campaign, you have to create content for your launch. And so when we talk about content inside of the launch planner, that's different than when you're creating content on a daily. So when you're creating content like on an everyday basis, how you approach content is so different. One of the things that we focus on when we're coaching our clients is how do you create original content that nobody else can do. So before people started creating content for series and things like that, I need you all to know that it's so important that, how can I say this? When you're creating content, y'all, you have to understand that your video is going into social media slop land, okay? There's so many people who want to blow up, get known, make a name for themselves, creating content. So if you are going to play the content game, at least make your content different, unique, and original. Does that make sense? I think a lot of the times when people are thinking about content, they're only thinking about stupid stuff. Like, I can go to your page and look at your content, and your content don't sell me on want to work with you. It just sell me on you talking. Does that make sense? So what I mean by that is somebody could say, let's say, for instance, you say you are a wealth coach, and I come to your page and you talking about everything but wealth. Why should I follow you? Why you showing pictures of your food, or you showing pictures of you out at the club, or you showing pictures of you doing random stuff? That is not content of a wealth builder. If you're teaching me how to build wealth, when I come to your page, it should feel like a catalog of content of you, one, proving that you the GOAT at what it is that you do. Two, you should be building authority and credibility when I come across your content. And I think it's very important that you all think about your content positioning. There are people who are looking you over, like overlooking you, because when they come to your page, they cannot articulate what it is that you do, how do you do it, what it costs, so on and so forth. So when you're working on your content, that is something that you definitely have to do. Okay. Hey y'all, welcome everybody who's coming into the live. Okay. The last system, which is also one of my favorites. We have so many clients, when they apply this system, they eat. Okay. When clients apply this system in their business, they eat. This is the opportunity hour system. Okay. What is opportunity hour, Audria? Opportunity hour is when you dedicate 1 hour every single day to pitch your business. And you're like, okay, what would I pitching myself for? You should be pitching yourself for media, speaking in appearances, business opportunities, collaboration partnerships or sponsorships, and community and activism. Let me say that again. How will you be promoting yourself? Every single day, okay, like today is Tuesday. You should be spending 1 hour a day pitching yourself for opportunities. That way you're not so reliant on the algorithm or your content going viral. Imagine if you spent 1 hour every single day pitching yourself to speak at a local event, or hell, at an event in another state or city, especially if you can get paid to speak. What would it be like for you to pitch yourself to be on a local podcast or a YouTube show? What would it be like for you to pitch yourself for business opportunities? What would it be like for you to pitch yourself for collaborations, partnerships, and sponsorships, or community and activism, right? I just got off of a meeting with a Georgia State College here. It's basically a college here in Georgia. And I just had an introduction meeting so they could get a vibe from me. And now I'm scheduled to go look at the campus in March to talk about what it would look like for me to create custom curriculum for the continued education program. So, and that didn't come from me creating a piece of content. You get what I'm saying? So like when we talk about putting ourselves out there in a big way, you need to also be creating content to attract people. You want to be, hey, Lashana, you want to make sure that you're creating content for, you getting opportunities. Let me tell you what happened as a result of this event. Okay. Yes, the event was to get rid of inventory, but let me tell you all the wins that came from this event. Number one, I got speaking opportunities as a result of this event. I got business meetings as a result of this event. I have new connections and relationships that were established as a result of this business. I have some people who asked me to partner with them and do uh some partnership stuff with them as it relates to their nonprofit. All of that came from this one marketing campaign. This is why I tell people, when you create your marketing campaign, when you launch, it's like a ripple effect. There's so many more things that come as a result of you just showing up and being available and being visible. And let me also say this: your competition is too afraid. Your competition is too afraid to go live. Your competition is too afraid to create content. Your people are too afraid to run ads. Your competition is lazy as hell. I promise you, all it takes is just a little bit of heat. Somebody drop heat in the chat. All it takes is just a little bit of heat. That's it, just a little tinge of heat, and you could smoke your competition. Because your competition lazy. Guess what your competition doing? Creating content. Oh, look at me. I'm creating content. Ooh, I'm creating content. Do y'all hear me? I just need y'all to know your competition lazy as hell. If you apply just a little bit of pressure, just a little tinge, little tinge of pressure, you can smoke your competition. But you got to be willing to be the obvious choice. You got to be willing to show up. You got to be willing to do the work. You got to be willing to take your business seriously. You got to be willing to execute on the things that you say you want to do. You got to be willing. So just a quick recap of the systems, and then I'll answer any questions that you have. If you have questions, put them in the comments and I'll be answering them, okay? Go ahead and put your questions in there because there is a delay between you and I. So if you have any questions, go ahead and put that in there, okay? So the offer system is helping you with your offer as well as your sales process and getting clear on your product suite and your offer. So if you want to work on your existing offer or if you want to enhance your existing offer or create new offers, then get the UnCloned offer system. It's on the site for $50, okay? I'm not restocking these. So if you miss your chance, you missed your chance. The UnCloned Launch System, if you want to know how to create really epic marketing campaigns and you want to learn how to do it in a big way, I recommend the UnCloned Launch System, okay? It's $75 in our shop right now, okay? All right, the next system is the content system, where we teach you how to create your own original content formula so you can be different when you're creating your content. That's the content system. It's $25 in the shop at the time of this recording. And then obviously you have opportunity hour, okay, where it's $25 in the shop, where you spend, and we help you. It's good for 30 days. So if you know you want to get a few more as you plan out your content, then I would recommend that, okay? So is that helpful? Let me know if that's helpful. Also, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat for me and I'll answer them. If not, we can call it a day. Let me know if you have any questions and we'll go from there. Any questions? If so, drop them in the chat. I know it's a delay between you and I, so I'm going to wait. Let's see if we have any questions. If not, we're going to call it a day. All righty. I'm going to give y'all a few more seconds because I don't know if y'all typing it in. Do you normally go live? I am going to start back going live, but I like to be on YouTube. So find my YouTube channel and subscribe to that. It's Audria Richmond on YouTube. So when I go live, I really like to go live on YouTube. Sometimes I go live on Instagram, but not like all the time. Will you ever host any more in-person events in Atlanta? Me and LaShawna was just talking about that. So I really like pop up and create space. And we definitely been talking about what it looks like to do some more in-person stuff. Would you all be interested in coming to in-person workshops in Atlanta? Let me know in the comments. I would totally do it if people are open to it. But I don't want to do it and then y'all be like, well, I kind of just, I don't know if I really want to come. What about the Accountability Mondays at Pop Up and Create? That's something independent of us. So Pop Up and Create will be hosting a accountability group for anyone who purchased the UnCloned marketing systems. And so that's exclusively through Pop Up and Create. That is not associated with us. I love the space too. Absolutely. Okay, perfect. Yes, for the in-person workshop. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Thank you for the pour. You're absolutely welcome. Any other questions? Let me know if you all have any other questions. If not, we'll call it a day. What offer do you recommend for newbies here? Let me just say this, because it's two fools of thoughts, right? Like, let me help you out. I'm trying to see how I want to answer this. How hungry are you? What I mean by that, like, Audria, what do you mean by that? Like, how hungry are you? Do you want to accelerate or you want to go the slow way? The slow way would be to buy all of my systems from the shop and work through the courses on your own. You won't get feedback. You won't get reviews. You won't get coaching. That's the slow way. Okay. It's still effective, but if you more of a DIY person, you don't mind watching the courses and going through the materials, then I recommend going to our shop and buying all of the systems. Because even if you became a coaching client, you're still going to need all of the systems. Okay. On the flip side of that, if you like, no, I'm ready to go fast. I want to go a little bit more accelerated. I want the feedback. I want the coaching. I want the hand, I want the support. Then I would recommend you join us inside the UnCloned Brand Vault. Our coaching program is $5,000 pay in full, or 4 installments of $1,500. So you can decide if like, for instance, if you go in the shop right now and buy all of the systems, let's see, 50, so what, 175 if you bought everything in the shop? So let's 75, 50. Yeah. So 50, that's $175. So if you go to my shop and buy everything, that's $175. So each system comes with a companion course, but that's like 25% of what we teach inside the UnCloned Brand Vault. Okay. We still have other pillars. Like, for instance, we teach publishing. We teach leadership. We teach, how to be a CEO, how to cast vision. We teach brand identity and intellectual property. Like, it's more robust. So if you go into the shop and you buy everything, that's a good foundational thing for you to do, especially if you're new. However, if you want a little bit of hand holding and a little bit of coaching, then I recommend you join us inside of our 12-month group coaching program. So you can either go at your own pace, $175, buy all the systems in the shop while they're cheap, or join us in the coaching program, get all of the systems for free. You wouldn't have to buy them because we ship you those in the mail for free. And you join us inside of our 12-month coaching program, and you can come to live monthly Q&A calls. We have a dedicated community for you to be able to ask questions. We're pretty supportive. We got a really dope, amazing community of all type of people from all different types of backgrounds across 30 different industries. So we work with people to help them build their UnCloned brand. So hopefully they answered your question on whether or not you want to go, DIY and kind of work through the material. Or if you feel like, hey, I'm one of those people that need a little bit more hand holding, I got questions, I want feedback, and I want community, then I would recommend that you join us inside the UnCloned Brand Vault. Okay. So hopefully that answered you all's questions. I just jumped in to say, y'all better quit sleeping on this offer and making excuses. Please act now. That's our client, Lisa. Lisa was in the mastermind for 3 years, and then she moved on into the UnCloned Brand Vault because I closed the mastermind. If I didn't close the mastermind, she'd probably still be in that joint. But we recently closed our mastermind. We have one coaching program, okay, where we walk you through that whole entire process. But I just wanted to hop on this live because there's a lot of new people here who don't know about us. They don't know about, like, they came to get the free planner. They got all the stuff. They still like, what is all this stuff? How do I work these things? But I just want you all to know that we want to see you win, but I can't want to see you win more than you want to see yourself win, right? So I just appreciate you all for showing up to the event, especially if you're new to me. And obviously, if you're my client, y'all know how we get down. UBV in the building. So I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in to this live. I'll put the replay up on my page so you all can go back and reference it. But I appreciate you all for showing up. And until next time, y'all, let's go live an uncloned life and build an uncloned brand. Bye, y'all.